Good afternoon. This is Shroom, and I've got yet another story here I want to talk about. Just found this here from Forbes. The title of the story is Feds Can't Force You to Unlock Your iPhone with Fingers or Face, Judge Rules. I love it. A California judge has ruled that American cops can't force people to unlock a mobile phone with their face or finger. The ruling goes further to protect people's private lives from government searches than any before and is being hailed as a potential landmark decision. Yes, for years, what the judges had and courts had ruled was that your face, your fingers, your toes, your eyes, your irises, since these are all things which are visible, and you leave your fingerprints around when you're walking around town, touching things, whatever. People can see your face, people can see your eyes. That these were not considered a basis for having to have a warrant or to be able to stop you from being forced to open your cell phone, computer, whatever. However, a password, on the other hand, was covered, and the cops could not force you to give that up. A distinction, yes. And let me see here. A password was deemed testimony, but body parts were not, and so were not granted Fifth Amendment protections against self-incrimination. All right. I always thought that was wrong. If you had your phone locked, you had your phone locked, and the cops couldn't force you to open it. I've always thought that was wrong. However, that's why I never used a fingerprint. I never used facial recognition. I never used anything biometric to lock my cell phone. I always used a minimum 6-number password to lock and unlock my phones. So it's not that I do anything illegal, but my phone, I treat it more as a computer than I do a phone. I've got stuff on there that I've got my banking, I've got personal letters, I've got everything like everybody else. You carry your life in your phone. Your phone is now, the telephone part is such a minor part of your phone, whereas everything else, the computing power, is so much more important that you're carrying a computer in your pocket that happens to make phone calls. That's the way I've always looked at them, probably for the past 15, 20 years. Has to be at least 20 years because it had to be since my first HTC 6700 that I got, which was my first smartphone. And I bought that because it could run Microsoft Office on it. Actually, my employers bought it for me. All I had to do was pay the monthly service. But my employers actually paid for the phone. So now, this is it. They are finally catching up. The courts are finally catching up to modern technology and the way people actually use them. Thank goodness. It's wonderful. The security of your cell phone is security of your life. You got your banking, you've got everything on there. You don't need the feds. You don't need your local podunk police department looking to see who you have pictures of. Intimate pictures of you and your wife, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever. Pictures of your family. None of that. No, they don't need to be looking at that at their will. No, this is a wonderful ruling. I'm very happy with it. So that's great. And if anybody disagrees with me on it, you're going to have a heck of a time trying to convince me I'm wrong. All right? Now, we're going to cover another one here in just a second. Give me a moment. Okay, now, here's the one that really got me and the internet and everybody else in an uproar. Gillette released an ad asking men to act the right way. Then came the backlash. Men need to hold other men accountable. Is this the best the man could get? Now, Procter & Gamble, who owns Gillette, really screwed up on this. A new marketing campaign Monday seeking to eliminate the bad behavior and justifications like boys will be boys, acknowledging the actions of a few taint the reputation of the many. In the ad entitled "We Believe," which begins by depicting news coverage of mainstream portrayals of sexual harassment, bullying, and other forms of toxic masculinity, the narrator says such behavior has been going on for far too long. Guess what? Gillette, Procter & Gamble. I'm 59 years old. I don't need you to tell me how to treat the women in my life. My mother and my father already did that. I don't need you teaching my son how to treat the women in his life. His mother and I did that. And hopefully, the women were taught by their parents how to treat the men in their lives. Now, I've been using Gillette Mach 5 razors for a while. And today, when my razors that I've got are gone and dulled out and I can't use them anymore, I won't be buying any more Gillette products. They have just lost my business. And most likely, if I can find any Procter & Gamble product, if I can find this equivalent sold by another company, I'll probably be looking for that. I probably will not be buying any more Procter & Gamble products unless it's the only product on the market to do the job, which I hope is very doubtful. Now, this is just more left-wing crap from companies trying to tell the American people how to live their lives. There's no need for it. There is absolutely no need for it. I'm wondering if Procter & Gamble was going to release an ad or had plans to release an ad telling women how to treat their men. Nearly 45%, if I remember correctly. I'll have to look it up. Don't bash me too hard if I got the wrong number, but it's like 45%, 46% of all domestic violence is caused by the woman. The woman is the abuser. You don't hear the calls for believe all men. No, if anything else, if man goes to report violence or domestic abuse by their female cohabitant, spouse, girlfriend, whatever, they're laughed at. They're ignored. It's put on a back burner because how can the little girl hurt the big man? Now, this is a personal philosophy I come up with years ago after many forced EEOC training sessions, about how to treat women. Women are this, women are that. Men, you can't do this, you can't do that. And my philosophy has evolved to I no longer open doors for women other than my wife and my mother when she was alive, my sister, and immediate relatives. I don't open doors for women. If a woman takes a swing at me, I let her miss on the first time. She takes a second swing on me, I'm going to let her connect, and then I'm going to plant her. End of conversation. She wants to be treated like a man. She wants to act like a man. She's going to get treated like a man. There's no excuse for a woman to hit. Now, I just saw an ad for a movie, takeoff on an old Mel Gibson movie, What Women Really Want or something like that. And it's what men really want. Some black woman now has the ability to read the minds of all the men. And she's in a pool hall shooting pool, and some cutie comes walking by, and the guy behind her sees her and has some sort of a thought that she doesn't like, and she slams a pool cue back right in his crotch and smiles. That is supposed to be funny. That's funny in today's world. Women hitting men in the crotch. You'd never see that kind of humor of a man hitting a woman and being considered funny, especially just for having a lustful thought about somebody walking by. So Gillette, Procter & Gamble, you can keep your products. I don't need them. As long as you're going to be trying to tell me how to live my life, how I should treat the people around me, it ain't going to happen, and you're not getting any more money out of my pockets, okay? This is Shroom, TOS, the original Shroom. I'm done with this one for the day. I'm going to get this up before the Lords of the Night makes their stream, and I'll go over there and listen to Monkey and Scribe and Satsu throw out their 2 cents worth on, Satsu 2 cents on the Gillette ad. That will get talked. I don't know how much of the telephone, the cell phone, the security will get talked about tonight. I hope it does. But anyway, y'all have a good day. Enjoy yourselves. And coming from a chilly Florida, have a good night.